Imagine being erased from existence. One day, you are the pride of an empire. You are sailing on the most advanced machines ever built. You have enough food for 5 years. You are invincible. And then, silence. In 1845, 129 men sailed into the freezing white void of the Canadian Arctic. They were looking for a shortcut, a trade route. Instead, they found something else. For 170 years, the world asked, where did they go? Did they freeze? Did they starve? Or did they turn on each other? Tonight, we aren't just telling history. We are walking into the dark. This is the true story of the Franklin expedition. To understand the horror, you have to understand the arrogance. Britain in 1845 felt like it owned the world. They had mapped everything except this one last piece of the puzzle, the Northwest Passage. So they didn't just send any ships. They sent the MS Erebus and the HMS Terror. Think of these ships like the space shuttles of their time. They were modified bomb vessels reinforced with thick iron to smash through ice. But here is the crazy part. They had steam engines taken from locomotives installed inside the ships. They had a central heating system using hot water pipes. They even had a library with 1,200 books. They were floating palaces. And the food? They packed 8,000 tins of preserved meat and vegetables. They thought they had defeated nature with technology. They thought nothing could touch them. But they made one fatal mistake before they even left the dock. The beginning felt like a vacation. They stopped at Greenland. They wrote letters home. 5 guys got sick and were sent back to England. Those 5 guys, they were the lucky ones. They were the only ones who would survive. The rest, 129 men, pushed on. They spent their first winter at Beechy Island. It was cold, sure, but they were cozy inside their heated ships. But then, spring came. The ice melted, and Sir John Franklin, the commander, had to make a choice. He reached King William Island. He could have gone one way, but he turned west. He sailed straight into a trap. You see, the wind in that part of the Arctic pushes massive sheets of ice down a narrow channel. It doesn't just freeze. It piles up like concrete walls. In September 1846, the ice grabbed the ships, and it never let go. So, they are stuck. But they aren't worried yet. They have food, right? This is where the story turns into a nightmare. Remember those 8,000 cans of food? The company that made them was in a rush. To seal the cans quickly, they used lead solder. And they were sloppy. Lead dripped into the soup, into the meat, into the gravy. Day by day, meal by meal, the crew was poisoning themselves. Lead poisoning isn't a quick death. It's psychological. It makes you paranoid. It makes you weak. It destroys your mind. Combine that with scurvy. The fresh lemon juice ran out. Their old wounds reopened. Their gums turned black. By the summer of 1847, the invincible crew was rotting from the inside out. Then the captain died. Sir John Franklin passed away in June. The men were alone. The ice wasn't melting. And the madness was setting in. April 1848. They had been trapped in the ice for a year and a half. The ships were dead. The heating was off. Captain Crozier, the new leader, makes a desperate call. We walk. 105 men climbed out of the ships. They planned to walk nearly 1,000 miles south to the nearest trading post. It was a suicide mission. But here is the strangest part. When archaeologists found their trail years later, they found the things they were carrying. They weren't just carrying food. They were dragging massive heavy lifeboats on sledges. And inside the boats, silver cutlery, silk handkerchiefs, curtain rods, heavy books. Why? Why drag hundreds of pounds of useless junk when you are dying of hunger? Because their brains were broken by the lead. They weren't thinking straight. They were zombies walking into the white mist. As they dropped one by one, the survivors did the unthinkable. Years later, the local Inuit people told British search parties what they saw. They described ghosts walking on the ice, and they said something that shocked Victorian England. They said the men were eating each other. The British press called the Inuit liars. British sailors would never do that. They screamed. But modern science proved the Inuit right. Bones found on the island show clear-cut marks, knife marks on the bones. In the end, stripped of their rank, their uniforms, and their technology, they were just desperate humans trying to survive one more day. For a long time, this was just a story, a legend. But in 2014 and 2016, underwater drones finally found them. The Erebus and the Terror. They were sitting on the ocean floor, preserved by the freezing water. The ships are empty now, but they stand as a monument, a warning that no matter how advanced we become, no matter how much technology we build, nature always has the final say.